right, good morning, Summit Academy students. It is Monday, May 18th, 10 o'clock in the morning here, so pretty shortly we will get started with Spanish. Hope everyone's enjoying their time at home. Hope everyone had a weekend. Like usual, we're going to give a couple minutes to see if anybody shows up. Hopefully we have a lot of 8th graders today, because if we have over 15 8th graders, Mrs. Ewing said we would do a raffle, so we'll see how many we get. So I'll give it a couple minutes to see who shows up. If you come in live, you can just type in the live chat who you are and that you're here, and that'll help us know who is here. It's a pretty gross day outside today. I tried walking my dog this morning, and usually he spends about half an hour outside walking, and today we were outside for about 5 minutes. He didn't like the rain. It was raining pretty hard here in Canton. So hope everyone had a good weekend. Barbershops are open, peluquerias are open now, so I haven't been able to get a haircut yet, but Lord knows I need it soon. So hopefully you guys are eventually slowly getting back to a somewhat normal life. Outdoor dining is open now, so you can go and eat at a restaurant as long as you can sit outside. And I think indoor dining will come back soon, maybe next week. So hopefully slowly but surely we'll get back to normal, as long as everyone continues to stay healthy and wash your hands and take any precautions you need when you go out in public. So it's been about 1 minute and 50 seconds or so, almost 2 minutes since we started the live stream, so I'll get started here shortly. Like I said last Wednesday, we are going to be filling in notes together today. So if you were here already, or if you're watching this at a later time, find the paper that has like the rewind symbol at the top. It's stupid. I don't know why they called it this, but it says backwards verbs. And it has it written backwards. I don't know why. But find this. We're going to be doing this today, as well as the second sheet that goes with it, okay? So if you have these papers, they are pages 75 and 77 at the bottom. Okay, so we'll be doing this today. Working through this, kind of like taking notes on verbs of this manner. Before we get started, though, it is important for me to tell you that this will be our last week of live streams. I don't know if you've heard that from the teachers yet, but this week will be the last week of live streams across the board from all teachers. So I think Mrs. Ewing said starting at the end of this week, starting on Friday, and all through next week, you can come in and turn in your Blizzard bag. So this will be the last thing we do in the Blizzard bags, okay? These 2 pages today. We'll finish it this week, and then, starting on Friday and throughout next week, you can turn them in at the school, and then your 8th grade Spanish class will be complete. So this will be our last thing we do today, or this week. I'll still be available if you need help figuring anything out. Like if you're watching this later and say you're watching this on Thursday and you're trying to get this done and you don't understand something, my email, I'll still answer your emails. I'll still respond to the Google Hangouts if you type in there and need some help. Good morning, Brandon. I'm going to type in my email here just so it's in the chat. Like I said, I'll be answering emails no matter what, even if it's later in the week or next week. So, but for those of you here live or later, we are going to be working on this today. Okay, but before we get started, I wanted to review just what we normally do to start the class, talk about the date, right? So hoy es el, I'm going to say the 18th. So if you know how to say 18th, go ahead and think about it and say it. Say 18, so we know it's 10-8, right? 10 is diez, 8 is ocho. So you put those 2 words together, you've got hoy es el 18, right? 18 is the 18th, right? 18 is 18. Day, what month are we in? Okay, hope you can see that. Yeah. What month? Mayo, right? Not Mayo, Mayo. So hoy es el 18 de mayo. Today's the 18th of May. And then our year, which hopefully you have by now, 2020, right? Dos is 2, 1,000 is mil, and 20 is 20, right? So there's our full date. Hoy es el 18 de mayo, 2020. Almost said 2009. That was 2009. So 2020, 2020. So going on, yep, got it, Mayo, good job. We're going to talk about the days now. So el día, today, the day. El día es, ¿qué día es hoy? Today. Today is Monday. ¿Cómo se dice? How do we say? ¿Cómo se dice Monday? Monday. Remember when I said that Monday, the word Monday comes from the word moon day? Back in the ancient Greek and Roman days, every day of the week was dedicated to a celestial body. So like Monday was dedicated to the moon. Moon day, right? The word for moon in Spanish is luna. So this word for Monday is lunes, right? So hoy el día es lunes. Today, el día, the day is el día es lunes, right? Mañana is tomorrow, okay? So mañana, tomorrow, mañana será qué día? Mañana will be, mañana será qué día? Tomorrow will be what day? So if today is Monday, that means tomorrow is Tuesday. En español, ¿cómo se dice Tuesday? Tuesday is martes. All right. Mañana será martes. All right. What helps me think about this is think of Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras is French. Those words are, but Mardi is the French for Tuesday. So M-A-R-T, Mardi, martes. I don't know if that helps you or not, but yes. Martes is Tuesday, and that's tomorrow. So that means ayer, yesterday. Ayer fue, ¿qué día fue ayer? Ayer fue, so this means yesterday was, what day? ¿Qué día fue ayer? Yesterday was Sunday, right? So how do you say Sunday in español? Sunday in español es domingo. Let me get my finger out of the way. Ayer fue domingo. Yesterday was Sunday. Okay, so there's our full dates and days of the week. All right, and with that being said, we're going to get on to the handouts and the notes that we're taking today. Okay, guys. So find this paper if you haven't already. It has the back like the rewind button at the top. Okay, we're going to be filling this in together. Okay, so we're going to be talking about what were called backwards verbs. And what that means is, like on Wednesday, we talked about gustar, right? I think I have it here. Yeah, we talked about, Wednesday we did this, right? Me gustan los juegos de mesa, right? I like board games. Or Elijah le gustan las granadas, right? We said, we made a review of how to say we like something, right? We talked about how this tells us who we're talking about. This tells us what the action is to be pleasing, to like, and then this is actually the subject, what we're talking about here, okay? And that's why it's considered a backwards verb, because this changes the verb. Normally, the subject goes in front of the verb, right? And we're going to look at that today, but these verbs, like gustar, are backwards. You have to look at this to figure out which one you're going to use, right? This tells you if it's going to be singular or plural, all right? So it might be confusing, but we're going to work through this together. So find this one, all right? And we're going to start at the top and just read through it, okay? So it says in both Spanish and English, we usually say who we are talking about before we say what that person is doing, all right? Here's an example. Hi, Brianna. Brianna, we are going through this page. Okay, so find this one. It says backwards verb at the top, and it has like a rewind symbol there, okay? We're just reading through it. We're going to fill in the blanks together, talking about backwards verbs, okay? So here's some examples of, normal verbs in Spanish and English, right? Sally sees a snake, all right? Sally sees a snake. So what we're going to do here is we're going to circle the subject, and we're going to underline the verb, okay? Sally sees a snake. What's the subject there? Who's the person doing the action? Who's the subject? And Sally sees a snake. All right. Circle the word you think is the subject. All right. If it looks like what I have, Sally is a subject, right? She's the person doing the action. What's the action? Sally sees, right? So you're going to underline the verb, the action. Sally sees a snake, right? So Sally is the noun, sees is the verb. Okay, and as you can see, the circle comes before the underline, right? That's a normal verb. This does that, right? Now we're going to try it in Spanish. The next one says, I'm going to go below it. Yo miro la televisión, all right? Yo, we know is I, all right? Miro means I watch, right? And la televisión, you could guess, is the television, right, or the TV. Okay, so circle the word in that sentence that you think is the subject. For yo miro la televisión. All right, so if you look like what I did, yo is a subject, means I. Hey, Malachi. If you're just joining us, we are using this sheet today. We're taking notes on backwards verbs. It looks like at the top of the page, it has like a rewind button, and it says backwards verbs at the top. Okay, we're going to be working through this together today. So to start off, we're just showing normal verbs and normal actions in Spanish and English. The subject usually goes before the action, right? Sally sees a snake. So Sally is the subject, sees is the verb. Yo is the subject. Miro is the verb, right? That means I watch. So you can underline miro. Okay. Yo miro la televisión. So that's just a normal verb. I watch. Right? A couple more examples. Mi mamá lee un libro. Another one in Spanish. Okay, we're over here now. Mi mamá lee un libro. My mom reads a book, right? So in this sentence, mi mamá lee un libro, where's your subject? Where's the subject? Circle what you think is a subject. And mi mamá lee un libro. So what I circled was mi mamá, right? My mom. That's the subject. Now, what is your mom doing? She's reading, right? Lee is the next verb. That's the part you're underlining. Okay. Mi mamá lee un libro. And once again, the subject comes before the verb, right? These are all normal verbs. And finally, this last one is in English again. Gemma is so cute. Okay, this is kind of challenging, but Gemma is so cute. What's the noun? What's the subject? The subject is Gemma, right? The person we're talking about. So you can circle Gemma. And the verb is actually the word is. Is the verb. That's confusing for you English speakers, but Gemma is so cute. So as you can see in all those examples, the circle comes before the underline, right? Those are normal verbs. But today what we're talking about are backwards verbs. They're not going to follow that rule, okay? So we're going to continue reading. It says, however, there are some verbs in Spanish that come before the subject of the sentence, okay? They are called backward verbs. Here are the most common backward verbs. Okay, some of these we know already. So gustar, the very first one, we're going to fill in these blanks so you know what all these verbs mean, okay? Gustar means to like. To like. Actually, what it means is to be pleasing to, okay? You don't have to write that, but to like is how we would normally say it. The full meaning is to be pleasing to be pleasing, okay? So when I say me gusta, or me gustan los videojuegos, video games, what I'm saying is the video games are pleasing to me, okay? It doesn't make sense to our English brains, but that's how we would say it literally, right? But so gustar means to like or to be pleasing to. All right, below that is encantar, right here. Encantar means to love, okay, to love. Now, what it actually means, encantar means to be enchanting, right? So it sounds kind of silly to say, right? If you love something, you wouldn't say, oh, I'm enchanted by the chocolate, right? We wouldn't say that. But that's what encantar means, right? Just also so you know, encantar you would never use for a person. You would never say, you never use encantar and say you love a person. You would use encantar for if you love something, or, like if I love chocolate, I would say me encanta, el chocolate, me encanta. All of these verbs work the same way as gustar, right? You're gonna have me, te, le, nos, and les, and then either the singular or plural form of these verbs. And we'll get there, but so gustar means to like, encantar means to love, importar means to be important or to matter. All right, so you can say to be important. I don't have any room to write to matter. Like, for instance, if I said me importa or no me importa, it means it doesn't matter. It's not important to me. Okay. Importar means to be important. So that's another verb that's a backward verb, to be important. Okay. Hopefully you can see my handwriting. Gustar, encantar, importar, faltar. This bottom one here, faltar means to be missing. All right, to be missing. All right, to be missing could also mean to be lacking. You see that? Yeah. So faltar. So if I'm missing something, say I'm missing my dog, how sad. I would say me falta mi perro, right? Me falta mi perro. All right. So moving on to the other side here. If I'm going too fast, you can just type in, yell at me to stop. But this top one here, interesar. Interesar means to be interesting or to be interested in something. Okay, so to be interesting. Morning, Joey. Welcome. Joey, we are doing this page. So if you have your Blizzard bag, find this page has the rewind symbol at the top. Okay, we're talking about backwards verbs. By the way, I'm going to start taking down your names if you're here so we can remember. If we can get 15 8th graders here, you guys can do a raffle drawing. So I'm going to say here, Brandon is here. Brianna was here. Malachi. Joey. All right, that's it, right? If you're here, check in. Let me know you're here. But we're filling this table here. This, these verbs. These are new verbs that we're talking about this week. All right. Interesar means to be interesting or to find interesting. So if I find history interesting, I would say me interesa la historia. Like history interests me. Okay. Next one is one we've actually used before. All right. Doler, which means to hurt. Oh, just threw my pen. Doler means to hurt. All right. To hurt. We talked about that when we did body parts back in February. We talked about all the body parts, not all of them. We talked about a lot of body parts and how to say body parts hurt, right? This O to UE, that don't worry about that. That just tells you that when you conjugate this, it's going to be a stem changer. But this part is just like a cheat when it comes time to conjugate. Don't worry about that. But doler means to hurt, all right, or to cause pain. If something causes you pain, something hurts you. Doler. Okay. Next one, molestar. Molestar looks like to molest, and really that's kind of what it means. But I mean, molestar means to annoy. Okay, to annoy. If something annoys you. All right, to annoy is molestar. Okay, molestar means to annoy. Anybody who has a sibling probably knows what that feels like. To be annoyed by your sibling, or to be annoyed by your brother or sister. So molestar, if you would say don't bother me, you would say no me molesta. No me molesta. Right? Don't bother me. Don't annoy me. All right. After that one, the last one we're going to talk about today is quedar. Quedar, which means to stay. To stay, something like to stay, to remain, or to be left over. All right. So quedar can be used a lot of ways. But for quedar, you can write to stay, you can write to be left. Me queda en casa means, I stay at home, which we all should be doing, I think, right now if we're still under the stay-at-home orders. Quedarse means to stay at home, right? So quedar means to stay or to be, to remain, to be left, that sort of thing. Okay, so those are 8 new verbs. Well, actually only 6 because gustar you used before and doler we used before, but the other 6 are new to you. All right, so those are some verbs that are backwards verbs where the subject actually comes after the verb. Are you serious right now? No. So here's the thing, guys. My dishwasher was leaking yesterday. And of course, now the maintenance guy comes to fix it. Hopefully he will come back. Sorry, I don't want to bother you guys. Anyway, maybe he's leaving. Of all the times, of all the days to come and fix my dishwasher, they're coming today. Anyway, we're going to keep going. So we're going to go to the bottom half here of this page. Good, they're driving away. Go away. All right. We're going to continue reading. Okay, when it says, when you conjugate a backward verb, you need to look at what comes after it in order to know which verb ending to use, right? Like last week we did gustar. We were told, remember that if what we're talking about is singular, we would say gusta. If it's plural, we would say gustan. That's an example of us looking ahead to see what we're talking about to decide which form of the verb to use. So before you even realized what you were doing, you were conjugating a backward verb, okay? So for instance, circle the subject and underline the verb. So we're down here. This thought bubble tells you to circle the subject and underline the verb. Okay, so in this example, nos gustan los perros. Nos gustan los perros. This means we, right? We like the dogs. We like dogs. It really what it means is dogs are pleasing to us, right? That's what that means. Los perros gustan, right? The dogs are pleasing to us. So I want you to try to underline what you think is the verb, the action in this sentence. Okay, what's the action? Nos gustan los perros. What's the action? All right, this can be tricky, but go ahead and try your best. The action, the verb is gustar, or gustan. The subject, the main part of this whole sentence isn't us, isn't what we like. It's not us, it's the dogs, right? So you would circle los perros as the noun. Los perros is the noun, gustan is the verb. Nos just tells you who we're talking about, which is, they're pleasing to us, right? So nos gustan los perros. All right, as you can see in this example, the circle comes after the line. Up here, the circles always came before the line, right? The underlined word. Down here, this backward verb is the opposite, right? Let me know if you can't see what I'm doing. So the circle comes after. The noun comes after the verb, okay? So down here it says, te encanta, hey, I use this example. Te encanta el chocolate, right? Te encanta means you love, you being te, right? You love chocolate. So te encanta el chocolate. The noun in this is chocolate, right? Chocolate. So you would circle el chocolate. That's the noun. The verb, the action is to love, right? Encanta. So you'd underline encanta. So what this would look like, underline encanta, circle el chocolate. So that would look like. And once again, the circle comes after, the circle comes after the underline. And that's what makes these backwards verbs, okay? For the sake of time, we're going to skip the other two. We're going to skip these. This is taking a lot longer than I thought. I'm sorry, guys. So those are examples of backwards verbs. Okay, if you want to try your hand at these, you can, but we're going to skip those just so we can hopefully get through this first page today. Okay. So we're going to continue reading in the bottom of this now. It says, so what's with the funny little word that comes in front of the verb, like nos, or te, or le, or me, right? You've used those before. So what's the deal with those? That word is called an indirect object pronoun. Okay, that's the, right here what those are called. Sounds fancy, sounds confusing. You don't have to worry about what that means, but that word is called an indirect object pronoun, and it has to be there because backwards verbs always have two parties involved, the subject and the recipient. So blah, blah, blah. What that means is that word tells us who is impacted by the verb, right? Who actually likes something, or who actually loves something, or who actually is bothered by something, all right? That's called an indirect object pronoun. And you've used those before, right? Me gusta, te gusta, le gusta, nos gustan. We've used those before without me telling you what they were called because I feel like it's kind of a waste. But the bottom of this page says, the ending of the verb is determined by the subject, and the pronoun of the sentence is determined by the recipient. So once again, blah, 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 grammar stuff. You know this already. You've been doing this with gustar for months. You've been doing this with doler for months. So you'll need to know all the technical terminology of it. You don't really need to know that. But in this example here, the grandma in the box, here's a good example. It says, the grandma gives candy to the boy. All right. So in that example, the grandma gives candy to the boy. What's the subject? Is grandma subject? Is the candy the subject? Or is the boy the subject? So you got to ask yourself, who's doing the actual thing? Who's doing the verb, right? Who's doing the verb is the grandma. All right. So you can write grandma on this line. All right. The subject is grandma. She's the one doing the actual action. All right. Grandma is the subject. So who is the recipient? Who is receiving the action? Is the candy receiving the action of being given? Nah. Who is actually receiving it? The boy is, right? So the boy is the recipient. So you can write boy down there. All right. So this is getting a bit complicated, I understand, but the subject is who's actually doing the verb, and then there's also two people now, the one who's receiving the action. Okay, and that's what all this is saying. Unlike basic sentence structure, in these sentences, they're going to be a little more complex, saying that there's going to be two people in the sentence: one person doing the action, one person receiving the action, and that's why you need the may, they, lay, nos, and lace. Okay. With that being said, it's 10:26. I don't know if we really want to go on to the next page. Maybe you should save that for Wednesday. So we did this first page today, right? So if you came in late and you need to see the beginning again, you can just watch this back later today and get the rest. But all of these verbs act the same way as gustar, and that's why I wanted to get them in the school year, because you've been doing gustar very well, and you guys can handle this. So on Wednesday, we'll continue to the last page of this. And like I said at the beginning of the live stream, this will be our last week of live stream classes. Now, I will still be available to help you if you need help. If you're watching this later and you need help, and my email I typed into the chat, so if you can find my email there. Email me. I have the email go to my phone. I can respond right away. All right. I'm also in the Google Hangouts. Is that what it's called? Hangouts. I think that's what it's called. I get those notifications too. So if you need me, you can always address me on there. Brandon, Brianna, Malachi, and Joey, thanks for coming today. Unfortunately, we didn't get to the 15 goal, right? Last Wednesday, Mrs. Euling popped in here and said if we can get 15 8th graders today, then you guys would get a raffle for a gift card that can be mailed to you. But only the dedicator here, and I appreciate that. Brianna, Malachi, Joey, Brandon, you guys always seem to be here, and that's good, okay? I entered grades for the first half of this quarter last week. And basically, I'm just giving you grades. If you're here a lot, then, that really helps your grade. It means a lot to me that you're here. Also, I graded all your stuff from the last Blizzard bag, put those in the progress book. So keep up the good work, you two, or you 5 who are here today. And then Wednesday will be our last live stream. So Blizzard bags, these Blizzard bags, all this material can be turned in starting this Friday and all throughout next week. So as a reminder, get that country infographic done if you haven't already. About your country. I'm looking forward to seeing that stuff. I'm looking forward to see how creative you guys got with that. I wish you could present those. Like if we were still in school, we'd have a whole couple days of presenting your country and stuff. But unfortunately, that's not doable this year. So. So yeah, like I said, Wednesday will be our last live stream of the school year. I can still post videos if you need help, or if you need help, email me and I'll help you if you need. So these papers with the last 2 things in that Blizzard bag that we're going to be doing. I don't know if there's anything we missed. I think we got through everything in the Blizzard bag this time through. I'm pretty sure. But like I said, I'm only going to be looking at stuff that I helped you with. So if I didn't help you directly with it via these live streams, then don't worry about it, okay? With that being said, let me know if you have any questions. My email is in the chat. Email me or message the group on the Google Hangouts thing, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Stay safe, stay dry out there today, and keep up the good work. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Have a great rest of your day.